All right, welcome back to Space is Hard. This is episode 2, and we are here to discuss Space Force episode 2 as well. I am one of your co-captains, Ruben Jay, and that guy over there can introduce himself.
I am Bradley Biggs, your other co-captain.
Sweet. Well, before we jump into episode 2 of Space Force, I want to remind our Space is Hard listeners that if you want to support the podcast, there is a link in the description down below that will take you to Amazon. And if you do your shopping there from that link, we get a small percentage of whatever it is that you purchase. Helps the show out. And if you need a reminder, just go to multimediamouth.com/Amazon as well. Click on the Amazon banner. And again, we get a small percentage. So help the show out and get your purchases done. That was
heck yes.
I like the first one
Definitely.
better.
You just slid it right in there.
That's what she said.
Wrong show.
All right. So, Brad, I'm going to start out with something very controversial. I think that there are going to be people who are going to be upset with what I'm about to say.
Oh.
Are you ready?
I think so.
All right. Space Force sucks. The show sucks.
You know what? You're kind of on the money right there.
This show was hyped for so long, and the trailer looked so good, and the cast looked incredible, and then they actually started airing the episodes, and it all fell apart.
And it happened.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's like just so much to talk about the second episode. I can't wait to hear what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I had to watch it twice. So I watched it originally about 3 or 4 days ago, and I'm sitting here, getting ready to do the podcast, and I'm just like, I don't remember anything that happened on the episode. Like, there was nothing memorable about that. So I had to watch it again just literally minutes ago, and I took notes this time on what happened, so that I could be prepared. So,
you're such a good co-captain.
Thanks. I do my best. You are a much better co-captain than I am a co-captain. And we're just going to keep, what's the word I'm looking for? Complimenting one another.
Yes.
I think you and I just complimenting each other is a much better story than what Space Force is actually telling.
Yeah, unless there's some serious changes being made in the next, 7 episodes, I'd say you're probably right.
So let me, I don't even know where to begin with this. So we'll recap a little bit what happened in episode 1, how episode 1 ended with, I believe, the Chinese going in and destroying, what is it called, Epsilon?
Yeah, the Epsilon, and I think it was China. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
China.
I think so. I think it was China. So they went in, they sabotaged
China
or Russia.
Yeah, one of the ones that, because one of the, yeah. No, I think you're right. Sorry, I'm still waking up. I just had like, I just had like 16 ounces of coffee, and I'm still struggling. So
it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, or in the evening, Bradley. I think.
Oh wow, it is.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
Considering we were going to record this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's how the episode ended. Episode 2 started with what's the guy's name? Moby.
The doctor?
Yeah, the doctor. What's the doctor's name? I don't remember his name.
The doctor's name is
Marby?
Dr. Adrian Mallory.
Mallory, there it is. Yes. Mallory and General Naird drinking, and then Steve Carell's character, drinking and driving, which is a great way to get people to not follow the law, and trying to figure out what they're going to do to save this. Just before we jump into this, was there anything to you that stood out in particular that made you go,
I thought going into it that it had potential to be better than the first episode. Like for the first episode, I thought, like, I was under the impression that it was a more serious show with a twinge of comedic styling. Like, there were just a few funny moments, but overall it was more of a serious show. Whereas the second episode, we jumped from that to now we are watching a CGI monkey attempt to save the Epsilon. Like, I felt like it was just way too rushed and way too forced to try and like bridge that gap between kind of a serious show and establishing the characters to just like a balls out.
All right, you.
But in terms of things that stood out, yeah, the CG, the weirdness definitely stood out to me. What about you?
For me, it's still the lack of story. For me, like nothing. I had some weird thing. This recording is a train wreck. I had a little something in my throat that's just not going away. There's been
You're
nothing kind of like what?
Nothing. Continue.
Nothing from episode 1 has been resolved yet from in episode 2. Like I feel like they're trying to do this weird like episodic comedy where there's a story that they're trying to tell, and I'm hoping they resolve this story very quickly as far as what their plans are to try to rescue or destroy the Epsilon. For me, I really was like, I'm like, are they really trying to like? It feels like they're trying too much to be the Office of Space without the mockumentary style storytelling. So they're showing General Naird as a Michael Scott-esque idiot who happened to be given this middle management position in the armed forces, who has no idea what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work for me. It does not work.
No, I agree, and I think one point that was mentioned. Excuse me. Wow, you put something in my throat too.
That's what she said.
Yeah, for real. One thing that was mentioned to me was that it was odd that Naird is kind of like just an idiot who gets put in charge of Space Force. Like, why is he the way that he is and in charge of this branch of government? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. So I get what you mean.
There's no realism in Naird's role whatsoever, because I don't think the military is that stupid.
Exactly.
I'm saying that as there is a lot of waste and a lot of bad things that happen in the military, but I don't think in real life that would even, and that maybe that's part of the appeal of it. But I think Netflix has learned their lesson of this is what happens when you pick up a show without a pilot. Because it went straight to series. So I will say I really appreciated the line, "Are you sure the nips will be exposed?" Nubs, sir. Nubs.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
No. I thought that was actually a legitimately funny moment. I appreciated that.
I will say there were a few more funny moments in this show than this episode than the first one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Brexit jokes. I appreciated the back and forth on like the subtle gun control argument that they had in there, where Dr. Mallory is like, well, now this gun brand can market themselves as the official gun of mass shootings in space. And I'm like, that was funny. And then the guy was like, or hunting, the other guy, whoever the assistant guy is. And I was just like,
yeah.
okay, that was funny.
Yeah, no, it definitely had more opportunities to laugh. I felt like the exchanges were a little bit more natural in this episode. So that's, I guess, one positive thing I have to say about it. I felt like it was a little bit more natural, but I agree with you. I still think the storyline, there's definitely things to be said about it that have not been said yet. And another thing I didn't quite understand was Yuri's character, or Bobby, how seemed to be definitely the antagonist in the first episode, and then in this episode he's driving Naird's daughter back home, and I thought for sure, like, because Naird was out of the house, I thought definitely that he would end up coming inside and they would like end up sleeping together or something, and then Naird would come home and find out. Like, that was kind of the notion in my head, and then she's like, no, I have trick homework, so I'm gonna go, and then he's just like, okay, bye. I'm like, I didn't quite see that coming.
Yeah, it was a weird. This whole episode was like, just from top to bottom was weird. I did like once they got to the Dog and Pony show, like that I felt at least was funny enough that it made, like, it was stupid in premise. Like, I don't think that would ever actually happen, where they're going to be like, oh, let's see if this monkey or this chimpanzee, can drill together two pieces of equipment. I don't think that would ever actually happen, but it was
No.
funny seeing them communicate with sign language.
Yeah. No, it got creative, to say the least.
Was there a moment in that dog and pony show that stood out to you that you thought was funny?
I mean, I thought it was funny just the sheer amount of time that it took. I forget the name of the chimp. Was it
Marcus.
Marcus? Yes. The amount of time that it took Marcus to find the correct tool so they could shine the laser on it. Like, certain things made me laugh. I thought I thought when the dog's tail was just floating around, I thought that was a little tacky. I'm just like, oh, okay.
You were like, woof?
But woof, yes.
Not oof, you were woof.
Because the dog couldn't. Rest in peace. Yeah.
My absolute favorite moment from the show was that whole banana bit where he's just like, special banana, good banana, frozen banana, and I'm just like, I don't know why, it really amused me. And so then we jump into the end where Marcus somehow eats the dog for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I don't understand why how or why the chimpanzee was able to eat the dog. Wasn't the dog doing tricks for them like minutes before the chimp?
I think that was old footage that they had pulled.
Gotcha. Okay.
From like some kind of transmission, but yeah, no, it seemed kind of weird. I was like, in space, I don't even know how that would work. Really, they're just floating around, and
neither do I.
It's beyond me, man.
Yeah, I don't. Space is hard.
Space is very hard.
So is writing a show about space, apparently. So, so then nothing got resolved at the end of it all. I mean, the monkey. Like, I'm just happy they didn't kill the monkey.
That's true.
The chimp. Sorry.
And he got intercepted, right? By, I forget which government. Was it a Chinese? Yeah, it was a Chinese satellite, right?
Yeah, the Chinese.
Yeah. So maybe he'll make a reappearance later on. Who knows?
I hope so. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, there was a minute there where I'm just sitting here thinking, they're really going to kill the chimp off. Like, what? Like, that's not cool. I mean, they killed the dog, so they can't really kill the chimp too. And in such a brutal way. That's just,
Definitely, yeah. But I do think when Marcus was floating away and then Nerd is asking how much it would cost to save him, and he's like willing to just go all in to save it, I thought that was very, like, it kind of showed. And I hate constantly comparing it to the character of Michael Scott, but like, I do think it kind of showed that like heartfelt side of Steve Carell as Michael, where he wants to be a good guy and he wants to do the right thing.
By the way, have you seen that meme of Michael Scott answering the phone? And it's the president, and the president goes, "Michael, I have another assignment for you." And then the bottom scene is Steve Carell as Mark Naird.
Yes, I did see that. I thought it was amazing.
One of my favorite memes ever. The show ends again with no resolution in anything. Ends with Naird being driven home by I guess her name's Angela Ali. In the show, and he gets home and helps his daughter out with trig, with the trig. The trig, is that how you say it? The trig, the trig. The trig. I don't
Trademark. Yeah.
And for me, I felt like there was like this weird, like, flirtatious chemistry between the two. Like, I don't know
between Naird and his daughter.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know that I would say flirty, but it did seem like she was more. It did seem like she was less rebellious, which I thought would happen after some major tangent that she would go on in some terrible direction. Like, I thought that would happen toward the end of the show. So like, I can't really envision what's going to happen between the daughter and Yuri or whoever else. But yeah, I see what you mean. It was a different kind of energy in the room.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird. Danielle Silvers, who plays Erin Naird, she just kind of has like a flirty vibe, you know. I just kind of felt like this is the way that she was interacting with him. Just for me, I don't know. I just felt like kind of like, oh, okay, this is kind of a weird energy here. And I don't know. I didn't. Again, I felt myself at the end of this episode being like, oh, what was this? Like, why? I just wasted half an hour of my time watching this. It wasn't any good.
Yeah, no, I kind of felt that way too. And it is important to note that Ruben and I have not watched past episode 2 as of the time that this is being recorded. So it could very well be that it gets better, and we just don't know yet. But for all intents and purposes, I'm left feeling a little bit empty when it comes to Space Force.
Yeah, and again, like The Office had the same thing, so I'm kind of hoping that the show's given a chance to maybe get better.
Mhm.
But I'm also, I'd be okay if they decided just to cancel the show after just episode 2, because
Yeah, I'd be
it's
like, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say it's not. It wouldn't break my heart if the show got canceled. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, get a couple laughs out of it, and that's that.
Yeah. So with that being, I mean, that's the end of the show. I mean, there really wasn't anything that happened here. Again, we still don't know what happened with Maggie. We still don't know why she's in jail. We don't know any real backstory between the characters. I felt like I think they still need to do a better job explaining why they have so many different people from different nations all working on the Space Force. There's so many plot holes they need to fill in, and they need to do it quickly for this all to make sense, in my opinion.
I think so too. Oh, and that was the other thing. His Naird's exchange with the guy from Belgium, I thought was actually pretty funny. And I can't remember specifically what was said, but I just remember Naird treating him differently because he was from Belgium. And I know that sounds really awful to say out loud, but it was a very funny scene.
Well, I mean, he also didn't bring him any Belgian waffles, so makes him
Dude, I
sick.
think anybody would be mad about that.
I
I
I'm
know I
always
would be.
I'm very upset when people from Belgium don't bring me Belgian waffles. Uh,
They just carry them in their wallets. I mean, it's like, come on.
you would think, you keep a backpack for him just in case. But geez, I don't know, man. For those of you who are watching the show along with us, let us know what you think as well in the description. Not in the description, in the comments down below, because I'm
Please.
curious. I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are on the show, what you think. Uh, like I said, Bradley and I aren't huge fans of this show just yet. I'm fans of the cast, which is why I'm still giving it, and also this is part of my job now. But I'm giving this more of a chance just because I want better for this show.
Yeah, we're both rooting for it. And I know it sounds like we're just kind of tearing it down, but in actuality, I think we both really want this to be the best show it can be, because like it was so hyped, and it's been so anticipated that I am in the same boat. I hope it gets better very soon.
So if Netflix people are watching this, if people who own Netflix are watching this, I will say give the show a chance to get better. Maybe they again, this is they're kind of making things up from scratch because we really don't know much about the real Space Force. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt to a certain degree, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys, like it can't be that hard to put together just a competent story.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it might do at least it might do me some good to stop having this concept of The Office in my head once I go into it watching it, because I feel like that doesn't do any good. Like I have to get in that headspace where I know that it's a different show and where I can learn to appreciate it because, like, in spite of its differences and because of its differences. So I'm hoping to come to that place of understanding, and I think that's probably, I can't imagine we're the only ones who are kind of doing that, seeing certain elements of The Office, comparing it to The Office, because it is, partially similar cast, the same writers. So it's understandable, but yeah, I don't know, man. Hoping it
Absolutely.
improves.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Um, I have watched a little bit of episode 3, and it seems to get a little bit better from what
Okay.
I was half drunk when I listened to it, or watched it. So we'll see how that is. But those are the thoughts I have for now. Do you have any more thoughts?
I don't think so. No, I'll look forward to talking with you about episode 3 though, because I have yet to see it. But I think other than that, that's really about all I had to say.
All right. Well, in that case, let us know what your thoughts are on Space Force episode 2. If you have any questions for us, by the way, feel free to leave those in the comments down below as well. Brad and I will definitely answer those. My name is Ruben Jay.
I am Bradley Biggs.
And we are out of time this week's episode. Make sure to like this video on YouTube if you're watching the video version. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you are watching this on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on a podcasting platform, subscribe to us on that podcasting platform. Just do it. What do you got to lose?
Yeah,
other than
literally. Yeah, maybe some time watching Space Force, but other than that, I mean, just listen. It can't do you any harm.
All right, we'll see you guys next week with episode 3, where we get to know a little bit more about the congressional people introduced in the show in episode 1. So we'll see you guys then.
Ooh.